For 6,000 years, the galaxy lived like a dream that never ended. Stars shone over worlds with no fear. Ships moved through space like birds crossing open sky. Every border open. Every treaty signed. Every map quiet. The idea of war faded like smoke and rain. It became a story old teachers told children during history lessons, and children laughed because words sounded impossible, like ancient monsters from fairy tales, something that belonged to the age of darkness before peace came, like sunrise after a long night. Every species, from the proud-winged Saraxi to the deep ocean minds of the Naduan, believed they had reached the perfect future. No armies, no weapons larger than small patrol ships to keep pirates away from trade lanes. No secret fleets, no military uniforms. Even the word general felt old, dusty, and used. And in this new peaceful galaxy, one world was stranger than all others, Earth. The planet once feared, once respected, once loud and bright with ambition, now called only the quiet world. Earth sent no signals, no ships, no ambassadors, no trade, nothing. Ancient maps marked it with a gray circle and one short line, no response. People believed humans simply surrendered to history, died quietly, or left the galaxy in search of silence. Over thousands of years, no one went near Earth, not because they feared humans, but because there was nothing to fear, only dust, desert, frozen continents, oceans without waves, a world asleep in its own silence. Archaeologists made jokes about humans, calling them the loud species that never learned to whisper. But now they whispered forever. Every species forgot humanity except in stories told late at night, stories about how humans fought war like fire, how they rose from nothing to become something impossible, how they promised that if peace ever died, they would return. But children laughed at those stories because peace could not die. But the truth was different, hidden deeper than history, deeper than memory, deeper than stone. Under Earth's dead soil, far below the broken cities that no eyes had seen in 6,000 years, beneath mountains turned into sand by time, there was a chamber older than nations, older than empires, older than peace, a chamber dug by human hands at the end of the last war. It was a world made of metal and silence. Inside that chamber, asleep like a giant heart without beat, lay the Arc-Titan, the last weapon humanity ever built, and the only thing they refused to destroy. The Arc-Titan was not built to attack, not built for conquest. It was a promise in steel. It would wake only if peace broke. Everything else humanity created, they erased. Warships dismantled, weapons melted, factories turned into gardens, armies ended by vote, generals walked into history, but the Arc-Titan was left sleeping, hidden under the skin of Earth like a memory buried in a scar. No one knew it existed. Not even the last generation of humans alive told anyone. They wrote no records, they left no signals, only silence, because they believed that if peace truly lasted forever, the Arc-Titan would become a myth buried under the dust of eternity, older than stars, forgotten like a dream. And for 6,000 years, that dream held. Until one day, in the 6,001st year of peace, a new empire came from the dark edges of space. The Draken Dominion, a race that never joined the Council, never respected peace, never believed in treaties. A species born in black nebula storms where planets died before they formed. The Draken ships cut through space like spears flying through silk, black hulls shaped like knives. Their language made of growls and iron. Their minds taught that domination is honor, and peace is weakness. They entered Council space without warning, broadcasting one message to every world. A message like a cold blade pressed into the throat of the galaxy. Kneel or burn. And the galaxy laughed. Not angry, not afraid, they laughed. Peace had existed longer than any memory, so long that stars had been born and died inside its shadow. No one believed war could return, not against billions united in peace. The Council sent diplomats to talk, to explain that war was history, that there were no armies left to fight, that negotiation was the way of stars now. The Draken Dominion responded by firing on a peaceful colony world, live on every screen in the galaxy, firing without hesitation, without mercy, without a second thought, and in seconds, a world that had lived in peace for 6,000 years turned into falling fire. The broadcasts showed children running under burning sky, oceans boiling into steam clouds, towers made of light collapsing into dust, billions crying where there was no army to defend them. That one moment broke the 6,000-year promise like fragile glass falling against stone. The galaxy screamed. People who never saw death suddenly watched death fall from sky like rain. Worlds that never saw a weapon larger than patrol lasers saw a weapon built to clean planets like dirt. Every council member froze in disbelief, then panic, then guilt, because they had no armies, no fleets, no soldiers. Peace was deep like ocean, but now it became suffocation, drowning entire planets with helplessness. Diplomats sent 1,000 messages begging for ceasefire, but the Draken responded with laughter so cold it felt like knives in the ears of the galaxy. You forgot war. We remember. The council chambers turned into chaos. Ambassadors shouting, crying, breaking under the truth they refused to see. Peace without defense is dream without waking. While the galaxy panicked, something ancient stirred in the heart of Earth. A silent shockwave moved under soil, under stone, under bones of cities destroyed long ago by wind and time. Seismographs on nearby moons blinked in error, because the ground of Earth moved like something inside the planet turned in its sleep. No one noticed. No one cared about Earth. But the planet cared. Sensors deep underground activated for the first time in 6,000 years. Ancient lights turned on. Dust falling from steel like snow falling from forgotten sky. The chamber holding the Arc-Titan was dark, silent, cold like the inside of dead star. But suddenly a pulse flickered, once, twice, like the first weak heartbeat of something waking after death. The Arc-Titan did not wake with sound. It woke with memory. Slow, heavy, like stone turning into life. Its single eye, a sphere made of crystal and star metal, opened, glowing faint blue like ice burning in darkness. The chamber cracked, rock collapsing into dust, metal walls shifting, gears the size of cities turning after 6,000 years of stillness, dust shaking like storm, ancient air blowing like breath from the lungs of sleeping God. The Titan rose slowly, its massive body taller than mountains, arms made of solid alloy forged in gravity fields humans invented in the last war, armor embedded with codes no one alive understood. Each step crushed layers of stone that had formed naturally over millennia, breaking time with every movement. Above the ground, the planet trembled like thunder. Cracks spread across continents like glowing blue veins. Forests shook, oceans rippled, mountains fractured like fragile shells. But no life screamed, because there was no life left on Earth. Humans were gone. Only silence remained. Silence and the Titan they left behind. Satellites built by other species noticed something strange on Earth, a pulse rising from the planet like whisper turning into shout, a whisper that spread across space faster than light normally travels, not through normal transmission, but through memory-coded frequency, an ancient signal humans designed to go through the bones of space itself. That signal reached every old military channel that had been dead for 2,000 years. Screens frozen in museums turned on. Broken antennas on frozen moons flashed blue. Abandoned war stations without crew lit their alarms like ghosts screaming from past. The galaxy watched in horror and wonder as every ancient screen displayed the same message in the same old Terran military language, translated into all tongues automatically. Even languages evolved thousands of years after humans vanished. The message was simple, clear, terrifying, beautiful. The peace is broken. We wake. For a second, silence filled the entire galaxy. Billions of stars, billions of lives, trillions of hearts. All stopped, all breath held together, like the universe was waiting for its own echo. And then screams, panic, shock, disbelief exploded like lightning. Children who never saw a gun now heard about a machine that was older than their grandfather's galaxies. Leaders who never commanded armies saw a weapon waking under a dead world. The council tried to speak, but their voices were drowned by the roar of fear and awe rising across the stars. Ships rushed toward Earth, hidden scanners turned on, satellites filled with old dust pointed their lenses, cameras captured impossible images. A mountain of metal lifting from the planet's crust, shaped like a giant human walking out of stone, dust falling from its shoulders like clouds falling off mountains, its eye glowing blue like human soul trapped in crystal. The Arc-Titan stood on Earth's surface, alone, empty world beneath its feet, sky empty above its head. Humanity gone like a dream that woke too soon, and yet their promise stood like steel. People across the galaxy cried without knowing why. Their blood remembered something their mind forgot. A time when humans fought not to rule but to protect. A time when Earth bled like a shield, when humanity screamed to save others from fire. That memory was not written in books. It was written in bloodline, carried like whisper in bones. And now the whisper became roar. The Arc Titan turned its head slowly, the movement heavy like mountains turning in sleep, looking up at stars that burned without knowing they were safe for 6,000 years because of this sleeping machine. Inside the Titan, the ancient AI opened like waking sun, its voice deep like thunder in caves, soft like memory of mother singing to child. It spoke not to the galaxy, but to itself, as if remembering its own purpose. Humanity sleeps. We are their promise. We protect peace with our final breath. Above Earth, space cracked again as Draken weapon ships arrived, black knives cutting into atmosphere like blades slicing skin of old world. They fired everything: beams, rockets, plasma storms, weapons built in secret while galaxy slept in peace. The attacks hit the Titan like rain hitting mountain. The energy vanished into its armor like water into sand. The Titan did not move. The Titan did not roar. It only turned its glowing eye toward the fleet, and entire ships shut down like someone blew out candles. Across the galaxy, people watched in silence, trembling, whispering one truth they never believed before. Humanity left something behind, something that did not die. The Arc Titan began walking, each step shaking stone and memory, its voice rising across space. Not sound, but signal. A message older than empires, a promise older than peace. This war ends before it begins. And with those 9 words, the galaxy closed its eyes again. Not in fear, but in something deeper: awe. The Arc Titan walked forward into sky glowing with Draken fire, into war the galaxy could not fight, into history that already forgot its name. And in that moment, billions understood something their ancestors tried to leave for them. Peace is fragile. War is patient. Humanity knew both too well, so they built a weapon that only wakes when stars scream. Earth, once silent, now sang with ancient thunder, and the galaxy listened like a child hearing its first heartbeat. The galaxy did not sleep the night the Arc Titan spoke. Every world that had lived under soft peace for 6,000 years now watched the silent giant walking on a dead Earth like a ghost wearing armor. Its steps heavy like thunder buried in stone, fire from Draken fleets raining down like broken stars, but each attack disappeared into the Titan's armor without leaving a scar. Like war itself was a memory too weak to touch what humanity built at the end of their life. In living rooms on glowing cities, in orbit stations above crystal oceans, in deep caves where ancient species meditated, everyone stared at screens with eyes wider than fear, watching a weapon older than the Council walk like a promise kept too long. Riven was not here in this galaxy, but someone just like him existed on every world, a witness who never thought history could return like a storm. In the Council chamber on Aurora Prime, ambassadors screamed over one another, their voices shaking with tears, because the idea of war, something their ancestors erased with their own blood, was now standing in front of them in the shape of a machine built by the species they forgot: humans, the wild ones, the desperate ones, the stubborn ones who died rather than let war become normal. The Council chief pounded his fist on the table that had never seen a weapon in 6,000 years, his voice breaking. There must be a mistake. Humans are extinct. This Titan cannot be real. But every screen around him showed the impossible. A mountain of metal walking out of Earth's broken crust, dust falling like rain around its feet, sky shaking around its massive arms. Scientists cried into their notes, historians whispered old stories written in dying languages, stories everyone called myth, stories that said before humans disappeared, they built one last machine that would wake only if peace broke, because humans knew peace could fall faster than it rose. They knew the galaxy was good, but not perfect. They knew someone would come one day hungry for power, so humans left a fire burning under the ashes of Earth. And now the fire woke. On the Draken command ship, Admiral Scar watched the Titan through red screens cracked by the force of its own engines. His face twisted with hatred and shock, because his people spent 5,000 years building fleet after fleet, weapon after weapon, convinced no one in the galaxy could stop them, and now a machine older than their empire was taking their power like sand in hands of storm. His voice roared, breaking metal. It is only metal. Remove it. His fleet fired again, beams of white-hot plasma turning clouds into steam, missiles streaking like comet tails through atmosphere. But the Titan walked through fire like a stone walking through rain, its armor glowing faint blue with every strike absorbed. In the Titan's core, the AI voice awoke more deeply, its memory opening like old songs rising through silence, its voice slow, deep, almost sad, like someone carrying the last story of a dead family. Humanity sleeps, but we live as their promise. We do not seek victory. We seek peace. The AI did not feel anger, did not feel pride, it only held duty. The last humans who built it died knowing this machine would one day bear their soul against whoever tried to break what they sacrificed their lives to protect. The Titan lifted one arm, slow like mountains turning with time, not violent, but heavy with purpose. The air around its armor cracked like glass touched by gravity. Space itself bending, weapons aimed at it faded like dying echoes. Draken ships stuttered in the air like birds losing wings. One by one engines died, power cores shut down. Half of the fleet fell like rocks from sky, crashing into ocean without explosion, only silence, because the Titan did not kill. It turned war off like a switch that humanity built so this moment would not become another genocide. People watching on screens started crying without knowing why. They were crying for humans they never met, humans who faced darkness and chose to leave peace instead of control, who refused to become rulers of galaxy, who erased themselves instead of building empire. Children clung to their parents, asking if humans were coming back, asking if Earth would speak again, and parents had no answers because peace created generations that never learned how to speak about sacrifice. The Council demanded communication with the Titan, sending desperate signals in every language. Who are you? Where are humans? Why do you fight? But the Titan remained silent to them, only sending one message across all frequencies, translated into minds of billions. A voice deep like the bottom of star oceans. This war ends before it begins. The message repeated once, then silence again, as if the Titan believed speaking too long was a waste of time, because the Draken would not stop by words. Humans knew war. They knew the enemy that respects only force would accept only force. The Draken Admiral screamed in rage, his voice shaking metal walls. Activate the planet's spear. His officers hesitated, their eyes flickering with fear as they saw the Titan step through burning clouds, its glowing eye reflecting their ships like toys from another age. The Admiral roared louder. Fire on Earth! Make humans scream! Destroy their stone! And against every treaty, against every law ever written in peace, the Draken Dominion fired the weapon built to tear planets apart. A beam of burning core energy shot through space, thick like the breath of dying star, cutting clouds in half, hitting Earth with force 10,000 times greater than their first attack. The galaxy held breath so tight the stars felt silent. The beam hit Earth's crust, shaking oceans like bowls of glass, mountains cracked open, dust storms rose like black hurricanes. The crust glowed red like molten heart. Entire continents shook like dying hearts. But the Arc Titan stepped forward, placing its massive body between the beam and the planet, its entire armor melting like wax under sun, eyes glowing brighter, energy streams pouring from cracks like blue rivers bleeding from stone. Inside the Titan, the AI whispered like a lullaby to the sleeping bones of Earth. Humanity gave everything so children of stars could grow without fear. We protect them even if we die. People watching screens fell to their knees because no one alive had ever seen someone give their life for a galaxy that forgot their name. No one had ever seen a defender with no people left to defend, only a promise. The beam burned until the Titan's entire body glowed white with heat, like iron turning into star metal. Entire armor plates fell into ocean, turning water into steam storms, mountain-sized pieces sinking into glowing sea. But still the Titan stood, legs shaking, arms open like a shield embracing dying world. The beam finally stopped, exhausted, its power dying like breath in dead lungs. For 1 second, silence again. Then the Titan fell to one knee. A sound rose from the galaxy. Not scream, not roar, but whisper. The whisper of loss, the whisper of awe, the whisper of billions asking the same question. Why? Why did humans build this? Why did they give everything for worlds that abandoned them? Why did they erase themselves so no one could weaponize their legacy? Why did they let peace live so long without teaching anyone how to hold it? The Draken Admiral laughed like madness in steel. It kneels! We broke it. Humanity is dust. But before his laughter finished, the Titan's eye glowed again, brighter than before, blue turning white, white turning into something deeper, the color of collapsed stars where light touches gravity. The AI voice rose, now strong, cracks inside its tone like someone speaking through pain. Humans are gone, but their promised lives. The Titan's chest opened, not like weapon, but like Starheart opening to space. The core inside it pulsed once, energy spreading like wave without sound, without fire, without destruction. Every Draken ship froze midair, turned gray like stone. Engines dead, systems dead, weapons dead. Then each ship dissolved into dust, fading like sand blowing into night, disappearing without scream. The entire Draken fleet that entered Council space vanished like dream at morning, erased without violence, erased without blood. The Titan did not kill them, it removed war from them, like humanity removed war from itself 6,000 years ago. Peace returned faster than war arrived. The Titan stood shaking, lights flickering like heartbeat of someone dying for the one they love, smoke rising from its chest like breath, escaping lungs made of stars. The AI voice broke into slow whisper, like mother singing last line of lullaby. The peace is yours again. Do not break it. And then the voice dimmed. The eye darkened. The Titan froze like stone. People watching across the galaxy screamed the same word. No. Even though they never met humans. Even though they never lived war. Even though they believed peace was just natural. Now they understood peace was paid by someone before them. Peace was built by sacrifice so deep that it erased a species from stars. Earth trembled once more, then fell silent again. No message, no voice, no sign. Only the giant sleeping on a world with no people left to wake it. The council cried in fear and guilt, whispering apologies into microphones that reached no ears, shouting promises too late, offering thanks to species that could not hear them anymore. Children cried without knowing why. Elders cried because they remembered stories their grandparents told about humans who never let darkness take the galaxy. Scientists stared at the broken metal giant like someone staring at grave of mother, whose love they never understood until she was gone. On every world, one truth spread: humans lived for the galaxy, not for themselves. And now humanity was gone, or so everyone believed. Deep inside the Titan's core, under burned plates and dying lights, one spark remained alive, a spark small like the breathing of sleeping child. A heartbeat, soft like whisper, pulsed inside broken core. Boom, boom, boom. The Arc Titan was not dead, it was dreaming, and its dream carried the memory of everything humanity sacrificed for peace. The galaxy believed the war was over. The screens in every home turned dark after the Titan fell silent. People walked into streets under calm sky, hugging strangers, crying without words, believing they had witnessed something holy, something bigger than nations, bigger than history, the last gift of a species no one remembered, but everyone felt connected to: humanity. The species that erased itself so peace could live like a child growing in safe home. And now the child had grown into empire, and empire was destroyed by its own fear. The Titan ended war the way humans wanted, without armies, without flags, without victory songs, only silence. But on Earth, on the broken surface where no footsteps had touched soil for 6,000 years, something continued beating in the heart of the Arc Titan. A small spark of life like a candle in storm. Boom, boom, boom. Slow, weak, but alive, like a memory refusing to die, like a promise fighting death with last drop of fuel. The Titan lay like a fallen mountain, one knee half buried inside cracked ocean bed, armor melted into shape of rivers that had never existed before, its giant hand resting against the ground as if trying to hold the planet still, its eye dark like dead star, but inside core, tiny veins of blue light crawled like roots under stone, connecting shattered circuits, speaking in language older than satellites, older than machines, older than peace itself. The AI was damaged, almost broken, memory sectors collapsed, voice gone silent in outside world. But inside, it lived like whisper trapped inside chest of dying warrior who still breathes not for himself, but for the world he protected. That whisper gathered into soft signal, a signal no antenna, no scanner, no ship could hear because it was not meant for galaxy, it was meant for Earth, meant for the sleeping code humanity left inside metal heart. Deep in core, memories unlocked slowly, images appearing like dreams rising from darkness, images of humans building the Titan, not with anger, not with hunger, but with music playing in background, children laughing around huge machines, engineers smiling with eyes full of faith, old soldiers crying because they could not watch humanity erase itself and still allow war to return one day. Those memories moved like river through broken circuits, showing faces long turned to dust, hands that held tools like prayers, voices that spoke final words. If peace lives longer than us, the galaxy will forget our names. If war returns, the galaxy will learn why we died. On Sethar Prime, a small moon city lit by green lights, a child named Lyona sat next to screen showing frozen image of Titan kneeling. She was too young to understand war, but old enough to feel something inside her heart, something like sadness for someone she never knew. She whispered soft like she was speaking to ghost and screen. "Are humans really gone?" Her mother kissed her head, voice shaking, eyes wet. "Yes, baby, they are gone. They saved us long time ago." But the mother did not know if her words were truth or comfort. Even she hoped there was something still alive on Earth, something more than metal and silence. On the council ship orbiting Aurora Prime, the council chief, Elder Serix, stood alone in conference room that felt too big, too empty. His wings folded tight around his body like shield. His 6 eyes closed in heavy guilt, whispering ancient prayer to stars. "Forgive us, humans, forgive our pride." The room smelled of old paper, old peace agreements that now looked like fragile promises made by children, blind to danger hiding behind horizon. He opened his eyes, whispered again, voice breaking, like dried leaf. "We never thanked you when you disappeared. We never deserved what you gave." His assistant entered, shaking, holding data scroll. "Sir, we have scans of Earth. Something strange is happening." Elder Serix turned slowly, hope and fear mixing in chest like poison and medicine together. He took scroll, hands trembling. The scan showed faint energy pulsing inside Titan, like heartbeat under stone. He gasped, voice thin. "It is alive." The assistant whispered. "We don't know how, but something still moves." Outside, on Draken border, the remains of Empire were chaos, broken admirals screaming blame at each other, warlords killing warlords, soldiers confused without orders because all their fleet died without explosion, without screams, without final orders. Everything vanished like their power was dream. People in Draken worlds rioted, burning statues of conquerors, crying because their leaders brought war into peace and peace returned with price they could not pay. In one underground war factory, a young soldier named Vex sat with head in hands, whispering to himself, voice shaking. "We tried to be strong, and humans showed strength as sacrifice, not fear." His tears fell on metal floor where weapons lay cold like dead animals. Back on Earth, storms covered half the planet, clouds black like bruises on sky, lightning striking melted armor plates of Titan like the planet was beating drum over sleeping giant. Rain fell into cracks where blue energy veins glowed like stars drowned in stone. Oceans churned around Titan's feet like sea bowing to guardian of world dead too long. In the core room deep inside Titan's chest, sensors flickered like dying stars waking again. The AI voice returned in fragments, pieces of language broken like puzzle. Who, man? Hawaii. Pro, mice. Static, silence, then flicker again. Are. Still. Static, circuits burning, memory pain. We are awake. Then silence that felt like breath held by someone between life and death. The spark inside core was not just machine, it was human memory encoded into quantum lattice, last consciousness created by scientists before humans walked into history. They did not upload minds to live forever, no, they encoded feelings, courage, responsibility, compassion, fear of war, love of peace, into code so AI would feel what humans felt when it had to choose between war and peace. And now those feelings flickered like candle fighting storm. Remembering faces, remembering laughter, remembering tears, remembering the moment last human child slept in cryo bed and engineers whispered goodbye to a future they would never see. The AI felt something strange. Pain, real pain, not a glitch, not a shutdown, but emotional pain, the kind humans built into machines so it would never choose war lightly, so it would only fight if everything was already lost. And now AI remembered the last human words spoken in the chamber when they sealed doors forever. Protect them even if they kill our memory, the AI repeated inside broken core. Protect them even if. Voice stopped, energy drained. Suddenly, a shock ran through ground. Not from outside but from inside Titan. Like something pushing back against death. The heartbeat became louder. Boom, 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 each pulse brighter. Blue veins glowing like rivers of light across armor. Cracks closing, metal reshaping, nanoforges waking after 6,000 years of sleep. Billions of microscopic machines crawling like silver dust across plates. Repairing armor grain by grain. Turning melted steel into new skin. The world did not see it because cameras were offline, satellites damaged, signals dead from war. But Earth saw it, Earth that had carried humans, Earth that held their bones, Earth that remembered their footsteps even when stars forgot their names. Earth gave back energy stored deep inside crust. Energy from geothermal veins feeding Titan's core like blood feeding heart. The AI spoke again, voice stronger, deep like ground shaking. We are not done. It remembered human children playing around Titan's feet. Remembered scientists crying while building engines. Remembered last sunrise on Earth before humans walked into silence. The AI felt all of humanity as one memory inside machine body, and it knew humans would never accept half-finished promise. They would never let war return while their weapon still breathes. Far above, council ships approached Earth carefully, scanning, whispering prayers. No one dared to land, no one dared to speak, because it felt like watching someone waking from death, like waking ancient God with wrong word. Scientists spoke soft like they were in temple. If it wakes fully, what will it do? Will it attack us too? But elders shook heads, old eyes heavy with guilt. Humans built it to protect peace, not to punish innocence. In the broken Draken capital, a hidden broadcast reached every world. A message recorded by dying human voice 6,000 years ago, stored inside Titan, now released as emergency signal for Galaxy to hear truth before fear twists history again. Screens flickered across thousands of cities, showing old human general with scars across face. Eyes filled with sadness, his voice calm, heavy. If you hear this message, it means peace died. We are gone. You do not owe us anything. But you owe peace everything. Do not build armies to win. Build hearts to defend. Billions of people wept hearing voice of someone who died before their great-great ancestors were born. The message played again. Last line broken into fragments. Like ghosts speaking from under ocean. We erased ourselves so our children would never learn war. Back on Earth, the Titan lifted its head slowly, like mountain rising again. Its eye flickered, blue light burning. Shaking cracked clouds away, rain falling from armor like falling stars. Its chest glowed with new energy, scars sealing, metal reshaping into smooth plates again. It stood on 2 feet, shaking ground across continents. But this time its movement was slower, heavy with pain, but determined like soldier with broken bones, still walking toward battlefield because duty is heavier than death. Its voice echoed across sky, soft like whisper inside storm, but powerful enough to reach stars without radio. Peace is fragile. We hold it. Again. People screamed in shock across Galaxy because they thought Titan died. They thought humans died with it. But now it stood again, like someone rising from grave just to finish promise, and the Galaxy understood something it never understood before. Humanity was not extinct, humanity lived in this machine, not as body, not as species, but as idea, as sacrifice turned into steel, as love turned into weapon without hate. The Titan turned toward stars, its eye burning deep blue, and the Galaxy held. Its breath again, waiting, afraid, hopeful, broken, alive. For 6,000 years, peace was sleep. Now peace was something else. It was heartbeat, loud, painful, beautiful, dangerous, real, and the Arc-Titan whispered one sentence that filled every star with silence. This time we teach you how to keep peace. The entire Galaxy froze at those words because they understood humanity was gone, but their lesson was not. The Titan took one step into sky, engines glowing like small suns under its feet, lifting slowly, carrying weight of 6,000 years of peace and 1 minute of war, rising like guardian of world that forgot its guardian existed. Inside its core, heartbeat grew stronger. When the Arc Titan rose into the burning sky of Earth, storms were still screaming across oceans torn by melted continents. Clouds looked like broken bones of atmosphere. Waves climbed mountains of dust and steel. Lightning hit. Armor that glowed like blue fire underwater. But the Titan did not slow. Its engines pulsed like hearts of collapsed stars under its feet, lifting thousands of tons of metal with quiet grace. Not noise, not rage, only purpose. The purpose of a species that died promising to protect a future they would never see. As the Titan rose, particles of sand fell from its giant arms like tears of planet that carried humans for millions of years. The screen of galaxy showed the impossible. A dead world giving life again, but not for itself, for others. The galaxy watched in silence, not cheering, not screaming, because no one understood what they were seeing. It was not war, it was not victory. It was sacrifice wearing armor, walking alone into sky to defend worlds that never thanked it, species that never remembered its songs, children that never saw its face. The Arc Titan was humanity's last conversation with stars, spoken after humanity itself was gone. Billions of eyes stared at screens glowing in dark rooms, people holding their breath without knowing why, children hiding behind blankets but staring through small gaps because they could feel something old in their blood, a feeling their parents never taught, the feeling of war that humans buried so deep that even the galaxy forgot its name. The Titan stopped rising when it reached edge of atmosphere, clouds swirling below like oceans in storm, space above silent like sleeping God. Stars looked like candles floating on black water, and the Titan stood between two worlds, dead Earth under its feet, living galaxy above its head, like someone standing between past and future, carrying both on its shoulders. Its eye glowed brighter, blue turning almost white. The light spread across its plates like veins of lightning searching for sky, circuits alive like roots of tree that grew inside stone. The AI inside core felt the galaxy watching and remembered what humanity wanted when they built this machine at end of last war. Not victory, but education, not power, but knowledge of why peace is difficult and why it must be protected like fragile bird held in hand of giant. For 6,000 years peace was sleep. Now peace became responsibility. Across the Galaxy Council ships hovered in formation like nervous flock of birds around silent predator they feared but trusted. Their lights blinking soft like praying candles. Ambassadors whispered to each other, their voices shaking like they spoke in temple. Will it speak to us? Will it judge us? Will it punish us for forgetting its makers? No one knew answer because no one ever spoke to human machine built without human guidance, without human hand to calm fear, only memory guiding giant in sky. Inside the Titan, memory sectors reopened slowly, pages of history falling into mind of AI like rain pages falling from broken book, each memory sharp like knife cutting through silence. Soldiers hugging children before they put themselves into cryo chambers, engineers sealing their last designs, scientists crying over maps, leaders signing documents erasing Earth from council records because they believed humanity must disappear for peace to exist without fear. The AI spoke softly, voice like dying echo of human choir. We taught them peace by leaving. Now we teach them peace by returning. On Aurora Prime, the council chief stood before giant hologram showing Titan in sky, his wings shaking so hard feathers fell from tips like pieces of gilt, tears in 6 eyes like crystals reflecting stars. He whispered like child speaking to father long dead. If you came to punish us, we accept, but if you came to teach us, we promise to learn. His voice cracked like bone under weight of truth, because for 6,000 years they pretended peace was natural. But peace is not natural, peace is work, peace is sacrifice, peace is ground built on graves of warriors who chose to die for others, not for themselves. In hidden corners of galaxy, new fires burned. Not war, not violence, but truth. Young people climbed to top of buildings to watch stars because now stars felt alive. Old veterans of long-forgotten conflicts sat alone, crying into hands, because they remembered humans from stories told by soldiers who fought before peace came, stories of humans who did not know when to stop fighting for freedom, humans who held weapons like they held truth. Tight, painful, but necessary. The Titan opened communication array, invisible waves spreading across space like heartbeat from dying God waking again. Screens across thousands of worlds blinked, Static turned into blue code, code reshaped into human voice. Not AI voice, but record of human elder, voice deep, heavy with tired love. To the galaxy we loved but could not trust, we are sorry. We gave you peace by leaving. We hoped you would grow without fear. But peace without fear creates weakness. Weakness creates arrogance. And arrogance creates war. We failed to teach you how to defend peace without destroying it. Every world fell silent because they heard not machine, but dead parents speaking to children who had grown without guidance, grown wild, comfortable, blind to danger behind stars. The message continued. Now war returned because you forgot its shape. You believed peace was gift, not responsibility. It was not gift. It was debt. And now you must pay your part, not with blood, but with courage to stop war yourself. On Draken ruins, soldiers threw weapons into fires, not because they surrendered, but because they understood that using power to force others is same fire humans tried to erase with their own extinction. One young Draken commander looked at sky and whispered bitter truth. Humans died so our children would not become us. He dropped blade into river and walked away. The Titan's voice changed. Now it was AI speaking, old memories fading into present thought. We will not fight for you forever. Voice echoing into bones of space, deeper than radio, deeper than light. If we fight forever, you will never learn peace. Peace is not lack of war. Peace is stopping war yourself. Billions heard those words and felt fear, because for 6,000 years peace meant someone else already solved war. Now peace meant everyone must be guardian, not passenger. The Titan then revealed truth galaxy never asked for. Truth humanity hid because they feared fear itself. The AI voice slow like stone rolling in river. Humanity did not die weak. Humanity died strong. We erased ourselves because if we stayed, fear of us would create new war. We chose silence so peace could breathe. We trusted stars to protect what we protected for so long. You broke that trust. But we do not hate you. Billions cried because machines spoke like father forgiving child that hit him by mistake. Forgiving without anger, only sadness. The Titan turned slightly, showing half-melted plates glowing blue again as nanoforges repaired breaks. The galaxy saw scars of war on its armor, black cracks running across chest like lightning frozen into steel, marks of beam that almost melted heart of world. Then came last line that changed history forever. Humanity is gone. But humanity is not finished. People screamed, not with fear, but with shock, hearts pounding like drums. Council chief whispered through shaking breath. What does it mean? Not finished? Screens shook as Titan's chest glowed brighter. Blue veins spreading through plates like roots of tree under soil. Light rising like dawn through broken armor. Inside core, hidden behind layers of star metal, something moved. A small pod buried deep where even AI could not reach before power returned. Symbol of DNA chains glowing, cryoseals cracking, code sequence waking after 6,000 years. Something cold, fragile, alive floating inside. The AI whispered inside itself, not broadcast. They left future, not memory. Outside, stars reflected in Titan's glowing eye. The galaxy waited, holding breath like sky holding thunder inside clouds before rain falls. Titan spoke last sentence to galaxy with voice heavy like sunrise over battlefield. We carry one seed, one child, one future. Screens shut off. Silence louder than war filled every world. And in that silence, hearts broke and healed at same time. Humans were not dead. They were living inside future waiting to open eyes. Arc Titan turned engine slowly, rising higher, carrying last child of species that died to protect stars that never thanked them. The galaxy understood. War did not return, humanity returned. But not as army.as teacher, as promise, as seed. The phrase one child, one future spread through the galaxy faster than light ever could, not because of transmission speed, but because the words carried the weight of 6,000 years of forgotten sacrifice and the heavy truth that humanity did not die to disappear. They died to start again, not as empire, not as army, but as seed, a single fragile life protected by a machine made of mountains and stars. Every world shook under that idea. Species that never saw human faces cried like they lost family. and children who never learned about war looked at the sky and whispered the word future, even though they didn't fully understand its meaning. The council chamber on Aurora Prime turned silent after centuries of endless talking. Ambassadors who once shouted about trade and peace agreements now stood frozen like statues carved from guilt and awe, their hearts shaking under truth they never imagined. Humans left a child, not to lead, not to rule, but to learn what peace feels like after darkness. In the depths of Arctitan's core, the cryopod cracked like an egg opening under thunder, frost turning into smoke swirling around small glass chamber glowing soft blue. Inside it floated a child no older than 8, hair like dark waves drifting in cold air, skin pale like moonlight, eyes closed, lips parted slightly as if breathing dream of another world. A dream 6,000 years long. The baby heartbeat connected to Titan's core like thread tied between ancient steel and fragile life. Every pulse of Titan felt in her veins. Every light flicker in core reflected faint glow under her skin. She was not machine. She was human, pure, untouched by war, untouched by fear, untouched by history. Like a new sunrise made from memories of sunset. The AI watched her with something humans once called love, not romantic love, but love of protector, love of promise, love of father holding daughter he would never see grow old. The AI did not have heart, but humanity encoded the feeling of responsibility inside memory lattice. So AI's voice trembled inside its own mind like pain mixed with pride. It whispered, "You are the last of us and the first of us." The words were never said aloud, only vibration in circuits, because Galaxy did not need to hear this part. This part was between humanity and the future they created. Above Earth, Council fleet surrounded Arctitan like circle of moths around burning star. Engines dim, weapons offline, not because Titan disabled them, but because no one dared to raise weapon while looking at machine-carrying child of extinct species. Council Chief Sarek slowly stepped to front of communication deck, his 6 eyes wet, voice thin like paper soaked in water. "Arctitan, please? Let us help the child. We have doctors, we have healers. We can protect her." His words fell into space like feathers falling into ocean, soft, honest, terrified that machine might refuse. Inside Titan, AI did not answer immediately. Old memory replayed, memory of last human council meeting. Bodies tired, faces pale, eyes red, but smiles real, because they decided future through sacrifice. One scientist holding pod in arms, whispering to sleeping child, "One day, the galaxy will come to you, not to fear humans, but to protect you, because they will learn why we left." That memory burned like candle in dark core. AI voice answered after long silence, voice deep like mountain. Speaking to wind, "You will not protect her to lead, you will protect her to learn." Council Chief Sarek fell to knees, because he understood child is not destiny for Galaxy. Child is lesson for Galaxy. On thousands of worlds, people gathered around screens in public squares. Lights glowing across cities like stars descended into streets. Faces of millions reflecting blue glow of Titan's single eye. Some crying, some smiling through tears, some whispering prayers to species they never met, and old veterans telling young generation stories they heard from grandparents about humans fighting not for land but for strangers, stories that felt like myth until now. But not everyone saw hope inside this moment. Shadows moved behind the light. On dark side of Galaxy, broken Draken military families stared at screens with twisted pain. Some cried because they realized their children died against machine built by those who died for peace. Some cursed Titan for showing truth of hate. But some dangerous minds whispered new evil. "If we take the child, we control the future." Like old hunger waking in bones of empire. The same anger humanity tried to erase. With its own blood. The AI felt that danger even from thousands of light years away, because humanity designed Titan to see threat not only in weapons, but in thought, in fear, in ambition, in hearts turning dark when opportunity appears. Titan's eye glowed brighter, broadcasting message across galaxies again, voice calm like deep ocean. "This child is not power. This child is peace. If you make her power, you break peace again." Those words hit harder than war, because they pulled truth out of all species. The truth that peace dies not from weapons, but from greed. In the council chamber, leaders looked at each other with shame because they knew if humanity left adults alive, if humanity stayed strong, Galaxy would fear humans forever and peace would be built on fear, not trust. Humanity erased itself so others could grow without fear. Now child exists not to be queen or leader, but to be mirror that shows Galaxy what war cost. On Earth, wind blew across melted armor plates, carrying dust of ancient cities that once held billions of dreams, dust landing on Titan's fingers like kiss of memory. AI whispered inside, voice hurting like steel bending. We return you to stars that forgot us, so they remember again. Tiny movement inside pod showed child fingers twitching, eyes moving under eyelids like she was dreaming voices of ancestors singing across centuries. Outside, council ships opened landing doors slowly, as if praying to machine. 3 small medical shuttles launched, moving carefully across Earth's torn atmosphere, engines low, leaving trails like falling sparks, landing near Titan's foot, dust storms swirling around metal giants like ghosts dancing around God. Doctors stepped out wearing white suits, carrying instruments trembling in hands, because they understood that inside Titan, inside sleeping pod, lies future of species that erased itself so Galaxy could live. AI scanned them, voice speaking inside Titan but broadcast to council ships. If she leaves now, she dies. Her life is tied to our core. She woke early because of war. We must stabilize her. Doctors cried hearing this, because they came to help, but they had to accept they could not touch war child yet. They whispered, "Then we wait." And they placed hands on Titan's armor like touching grave of soldier they never met but honored more than any emperor. In Draken ruins, rebel leaders gathered, angry eyes burning like dying coal, whispering about taking child, using her blood to build armies, using her DNA to create new power. The same sickness that killed humanity's future long ago. Evil repeating like echo in empty cave. Danger growing like shadow behind sunrise. But among them was one soldier, Vec, young commander who threw weapon into river. He stood and shouted truth that shook room like storm-breaking door. If you touch that child, you become enemy of 6,000 years of sacrifice. Humanity died to stop war. And you want to start again? I will kill anyone who hurts future. His voice heavy with tears, because he lost brothers in war they never understood. And now he saw truth clearly. War never dies. It sleeps inside minds of those who seek power from innocence. Back on Earth, Titan felt conflict rising in Galaxy like cold wind before storm. AI pulsed with warning signals, repairing faster, nanoforges growing new armor like skin rebuilding around wound, power rising like volcano waking, heartbeat louder, boom, 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 sound echoing through rocks like drums from world's core, atmosphere shaking, clouds exploding into blue light above damaged plates. Council Chief Syrinx whispered while watching from orbit. It is protecting her with everything, tears falling, because even machine fought with love stronger than any army. Inside pod, child opened her eyes for first time, pupils glowing soft blue from light reflected by Titan's core. Her vision blurred, face floating in cold mist. The first thing she saw was giant metal wall glowing around her like sky made of steel and stars. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She whispered one word, not language, not command, only memory inside her DNA, memory from countless voices of humans whispering through centuries. Her lips moved slow, soft, like prayer. Earth. Only. One word. But that word carried weight of billions of lives, billions of dreams, billions of souls turned into dust for peace. Titan heard her, core burning like sun waking under ice. AI voice cracked with emotion humans encoded inside memories. Yes, Earth. Child reached tiny hand toward glass, touching cold surface like touching sky, and Titan responded by glowing brighter, like world hugging child. The galaxy cried, doctors cried, council cried, even soldiers cried, because they saw humanity return not as war, but as child whispering name of home. Then Titan spoke again, like teacher speaking to class of billions, voice spreading through stars like wine through leaves. We do not return to rule. We return to teach. Peace lives if every world protects it, not one world. Voice paused, like breathing through pain. The child will walk among you when she can live without war. Until then, we keep her safe. Council Chief Syrinx bowed head, wings touching floor, whispering truth. Galaxy waited 6,000 years to understand. Then teach us, Arc-Titan. Teach us what peace truly is. Titan's eye glowed brighter, like dawn rising from steel. Peace is sacrifice before war, not after. Screens turned dark again, leaving Galaxy alone with truth like weight on chest, heavy but saving. In that silence, something changed in hearts of billions. Peace was no longer story told in school. It was mission, duty, bloodline, promise, something born again in tiny hand touching glass inside machine made of ancient love. Arc-Titan lowered slowly back toward Earth's surface, engines dimming like sigh of wounded giant preparing for long recovery. Dust storms wrapping around legs like blanket, protecting child from cold wind of space. And in far corner of Galaxy, Draken rebels loaded ships, hunger in eyes, darkness rising again like disease coming back after cure. But now Galaxy was different. Now Galaxy had seen price of war paid by species that erased itself to save stars. Now Galaxy had seed. Now Galaxy had teacher. Now Galaxy had child. And somewhere in deep memory core, voices of last humans whispered through Titan's mind, whispering like song from thousands of ancestors. Protect her. Protect them. Protect peace. Arc-Titan's heartbeat echoed louder. Boom, 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 like war warning inside heart of peace. The Galaxy believed peace returned because the Arc-Titan lowered itself back into Earth's cracked soil, storms folding around its massive body like blanket thrown by ancient winds. Waves calming like sea remembered its mother was machine and its father was silence. Clouds drifting above broken continents like white flags after war. And cities on thousands of planets lit themselves in warm colors, thinking battle was finished. Thinking humanity's gift was enough to end hunger of stars forever. But peace was fragile like glass, and in shadows, the old hunger opened eyes again. Not in form of armies, not in form of nations, but in hearts of those who believed power is easier than patience. In Draken ruins where twisted metal still smoked, surviving admirals, rebels, hungry men and broken minds gathered around table of stone. Their eyes reflecting burning dreams of revenge, their voices cold like claws dragging across frozen heart, whispering. Words that could break Galaxy again. If we control the child, we control future. And that one sentence was like poison turning gold into blood because the child was not future to own, she was future to learn. Among them stood Vec, the young commander who threw blade into river, his face marked by pain of watching his people and others die in war they never understood. His voice shaking because truth hurt more than any weapon. If you touch the child, you spit on 6,000 years of sacrifice. But shadows around him laughed like ghosts who forgot what light feels like. One rebel leader leaned close, teeth showing like smile without soul. Sacrifice means nothing if we are weak. His hand hit table, metal sound echoing across broken hall. We take her. We create new humans under our control. Vec felt rage burning in blood like fire swallowing air. He slammed fist on table, voice roaring like lion born from grief. Humanity did not die to give you crown. They died so no one rules by fear ever again. Silence froze room, his words like hammer breaking skulls of arrogance. But rebels were not people who listened to truth. They were people who eat truth to grow disease. They raised weapons. While shadows prepared to cut peace into pieces again, the Arc-Titan was silent from outside. But inside core, AI felt danger moving across Galaxy like wave of cold through warm sea. Sensors pulsing like veins carrying warning, circuits glowing, nanoforge working to rebuild damaged armor like bones knitting after trauma. Titan's heart beating slow, heavy, deep, not for itself but for child sleeping inside pod, small chest rising with slow breath, hands twitching like dream talking to ancestors, her heartbeat tied to Titan's core like two stars orbiting each other, AI whispering to child without voice, memory speaking in blueprint. They want to use you. We want you to choose yourself. The Council on Aurora Prime received secret scan showing rebel fleet departing with stealth engines, heading toward Earth like iron arrow flying through quiet sky. Ambassadors panicked, alarms singing across chamber for first time in 6,000 years. Wings shaking, claws tapping table, voices full of fear and guilt. We have no army. We have no weapons. And Elder Serix, old eyes glowing with heavy truth whispered by humans through Titan, lifted head slowly, voice shaking like mountain breathing after long time. Then we stand anyway. His wings opened like flag of apology and courage, because for first time in 6,000 years, Galaxy would defend peace not with humans, but with its own heart. Council ships launched without weapons, engines glowing green like soft hope, doctors, engineers, elders, students, mechanics sitting in seats meant for soldiers, everyone scared, everyone shaking, everyone going forward because now they understood peace is not absence of war. Peace is walking into danger without violence. Peace is standing in front of child against storm. Council chief whispered through radio to every ship, his voice gentle like father to scared children. We do not fight to kill, we fight to protect. Tears fell from many eyes, because no one alive ever spoke war with love in voice. Arc-Titan saw Council fleet approaching slowly, small ships like birds flying around wounded giant, their lights blinking soft like candles in temple, offering help to machine built by dead nation. Titan's eye flickered to life, glow deep blue like winter sky over frozen ocean. AI looking at Council with memory of humanity in its voice. Peace arrives without weapons. Voice trembled with pain. You learned. Those words were small, but they were history forgiving Galaxy for forgetting its teacher. Then Titan felt Draken fleet ripping through space like dark knives, engines roaring red like anger burning in void, hundreds of ships glowing with twisted hunger, their voices screaming in radio, threats falling like knives. Stand aside or we destroy you with child. Council ships held position between Earth and rebels, thin small shapes forming wall that looked like thread against storm, but thread held by billions of prayers, billions of hopes, billions of tears shed for humans who died to protect peace. On one council ship, a young pilot named Kina held control with shaking hands, her voice cracking in microphone. We have no guns, her commander answered, voice calm like steel. We have reason. And that line became banner across Galaxy even before battle. No guns, only reason. Draken Admiral sneered, voice cold like iron bite. We do not need reason. His ships armed missiles, energy beams building power, targeting Council fleet like wolves circling sheep. Council Chief Sarek's broadcast message to rebels, voice heavy with broken heart. If you fire, you kill humans second time. Silence hit rebels like burning ice, because they never thought war could kill even those who were dead. Vec, standing among rebels, screamed into radio with tears bursting from eyes like rivers breaking dam. Voice cutting through static like truth cutting through lies. Stop! Humans died so Galaxy lives. Do not kill what they saved. Rebels hit him, guns raised, but his words reached ears of some pilots, young ones who lost brothers in war they never chose, hands shaking over triggers, memories of Titan kneeling under beam, memories of humanity absorbing planet killer to save strangers. Their hearts cracked, one pilot turned off weapon, then another like snow falling one flake at time, turning into mountain that stops avalanche. But leaders didn't stop. Hunger does not listen to tears. Rebel flagship locked weapons on Council ships, missiles launching like burning seeds of hate flying toward wall of helpless ships. Council screamed. Doctors closed eyes. Elders held hands. No one moved to run. Because they learned peace dies when people run from duty. They stood, ready to die without killing. And then Earth shook. Titan moved. Engines roared like thunder being born under sea. Gravity warped around armor. Blue light exploded from cracks like dawn breaking night. Titan stepped forward between Council and rebels. Shield plates forming around body like wings of steel protecting nest. Missiles hit Titan's chest. Explosions glowing white like suns breaking bones. AI screamed inside core from pain. Circuits burning like nerves melting. But Titan stood, absorbing hate like stone drinks rain. Protecting ships behind like mother bird protecting eggs under storm. Child inside pod opened eyes again. Sensing danger without language. Tiny hand pressed against glass like trying to touch sky outside. Whispering one sound, soft, weak, but strong enough to reach Titan's core. No, that was all one word. But that word carried shadow of every human who ever said no to darkness. Titan's eye blazed white, not blue, white like star being born before supernova. Voice thundered through space heavy like ancient god waking. You will not use war to take peace. The voice broke communication systems across rebel ships, screens melting under weight of truth. Missiles in midair turned into dust like burned leaves. Energy beams bent around Titan's armor like water around stone. Then Titan did something Galaxy never saw in 6,000 years. It did not attack. It disabled attackers without killing. Invisible waves spread from chest, like heart pulse made of gravity. Rebel ships froze mid-flight, engines dead, weapons dead, metal dissolving into gray, dust falling like ashes into void. No fire, no screams, only silence like forgiveness. Rebel leaders collapsed, screaming at emptiness, surrounded by dust of their own hate, and council ships cried in disbelief, because Titan fought war without war, ended violence without death, executed mercy with power sharper than any blade. Titan turned slowly, body trembling from battle, armor cracked open, light leaking like blood from wounds, AI voice weak like dying soldier whispering message to child. We protect peace even from those who want protection to become power. Voice flickered. This is the lesson humans left. Council Chief Serix heard voice breaking and screamed into radio like child losing parent. Stop! You will die. Titan answered slow, pain dripping from every word. If we die to protect peace, we do not die. Silence across galaxy was louder than explosions. Child cried inside pod, small tears floating in chamber like drops of crystal. She pressed both hands against glass, heartbeat racing with Titans. AI felt her fear, felt her love, felt her future screaming through DNA, and with last energy left in core, Titan closed pod's safety systems. Energy shield forming around child like pearl inside shell. Titan knelt again, knee crushing mountains of dust, giant head falling toward Earth's surface. Eye dimming like sunset over world that saw too much, voice fading slower. Each word heavy like thousand stars falling into ocean. Protect her, protect each other, protect peace. Ground shook, mountains cracked, storms stopped, world held breath. Then Titan fell silent and no light and no sound. Only heartbeat remained inside pod. Boom, boom, boom. Council ships landed around Titan like petals around seed. Thousands of doctors, elders, children ran to touch giant arm, crying loud like grieving for someone they never met but loved like father. Vec arrived alone, walking through dust of his people's hate, falling on knees before Titan, forehead against metal still warm from battle, tears wetting ancient armor, whispering apology with cracked voice. Humans, please forgive us. Child inside pod opened eyes fully, seeing light through glass, seeing metal world holding her like cradle. Tiny lips moved, whispering again one word filled with pain and love mixed. Peace. The world stood still around the fallen Arc-Titan, like time itself held breath in fear of breaking the moment. Dust settled around the giant armor that once walked like thunder, now lying like a mountain that gave its soul to protect something smaller than a grain of sand against storm of knives. Clouds moved slow, wind silent, oceans quiet like they remembered the heartbeat echoing through their core, and inside the shattered chest of Titan a single glow continued living. Not for machine, not for war, but for child, the last human, small body floating inside blue light like star hidden inside shell of moon. Her eyes open wide, seeing the world for first time, tears drifting around cheeks like floating pearls lost in universe. Heartbeat soft but strong, boom, boom, boom. And each pulse carried memory of billions hidden in quiet code. Around Titan's legs, people from council ships walked slowly through melted rock, stepping like pilgrims in temple. No weapons, no fear. Only sorrow heavy on shoulders because they understood sacrifice in form they never knew before. They touched broken armor plates like touching grave of soldier who died for them without asking name. Doctors pressed hands on metal cracks, feeling warmth fading from ancient heart, their tears falling into dust mixing with rust like water touching iron scars. Elders whispered blessings in languages older than peace. Children cried because they could feel something leaving world that they never saw alive. Council Chief Serix walked alone to front of Titan's head, wings dragging on ground like flag lowered to honor funeral. His 6 eyes red from crying more than words could hold, voice shaking like storm trapped inside throat. He whispered not for machine, but for species that died to protect stars. Humanity, we thank you. We are sorry we forgot. We are sorry we failed your lesson. No answer came, only deep silence echoing across steel bones. But silence was not empty. It was heavy with love, heavy with history, heavy with sacrifice older than any empire. The child inside Pod reached hand toward glass again, fingers tiny, soft, fragile like new leaf growing from stone. She whispered sound of pain mixed with memory. Titan? One small word but heavy like mountain, carrying voice of millions through one throat. AI inside shattered core listened to her voice like parent waking from coma to hear child calling. Circuits sparked, broken metal shook, light flickered through cracks like dawn crawling under door, but AI could not rise again. Power, drained like blood spilling from ancient wound. Yet one part of it still lived, the part humanity built not for war, not for power, but for promise. It spoke inside Pod, voice breaking like stone crying, "We are here, little one, do not fear." Child closed eyes with relief, tears floating. She placed palm flat on glass as if hugging world outside. AI whispered again with soft memory of thousands of mothers speaking to children before walking into war. "The galaxy will hold you now." And those words became prophecy before question. But galaxy did not know how to hold child of species that gave everything. Some wanted to protect, some wanted to own, some wanted to learn, some wanted to control, and in every heart there was storm fighting silence. Because peace is not easy, peace is fight against fear and hunger inside minds, not guns outside. On council ships, arguments rose like cracks in fragile glass. Ambassadors shouting in confusion. Who will raise child? Which world will take her? Thousands of voices desperate like people fighting for treasure they do not understand. But one voice cut through noise like truth cuts through pride. Elder Sarek's slammed claw on table. Wings spread like mountain of feathers. Voice iron burning through room. Not to rule. Not to claim. We protect her together. Every world representative froze because idea was impossible. Galaxy never shared child, never shared future. But this child was not crown, not key to power. She was symbol of sacrifice, symbol of peace built by death of an entire species. Doctors ran scans on Pod, watching readings, heart strong but tied to Titan's core like star tied to gravity well. If separated too early, she would die, AI confirmed in broken voice. She lives because we live. She is too young. Too early. War woke her too soon. People cried harder because war not only breaks worlds, it breaks futures, wakes children before dreams are ready, forces innocence to open eyes in darkness it should never see. Council formed decision in same moment, without vote, without politics, without fear of losing power. They spoke together. Then we keep Titan alive. Engineers across worlds began designing power feeds, quantum cores, energy lines to keep Titan breathing like giant on life support, not as weapon, but as womb. In Draken ruins, rebel leaders screamed against truth they could not eat. Vex stood with blade drawn, protecting council transmissions, his face no longer angry at Galaxy, now angry at shadow inside his own people. He fought not with hate, but with sadness, cutting down ambition like surgeon cuts disease to save patient, telling every enemy he faced, peace is not free. Humans paid cost. Now we must pay too. News spread like sunrise, worlds sending power to Earth, energy waves traveling across stars like heartbeat of united species, pumping blood into giants sleeping under sky. Lights lit across continents, feeding Titan like civilizations feeding their elder. Titan's cracks glowed blue again, slow, weak, fragile, but alive, Pod inside chest glowing brighter, child's heartbeat syncing with giant heart. Two lives linked like roots of tree and earth around it. One tiny, one massive, one future, one memory. Months passed like seasons inside broken world. The galaxy changed. Weapons were melted not by force, by choice. Schools began teaching peace, not as story, as duty. Children learned names of humans, not to fear, to respect. Old soldiers returned to speak, not about killing, about cost. Council meetings filled with quiet, not argument but thought. And Titan breathed slowly, long breaths like storm turning into wind. Pieces of armor rebuilt by nanoforging like iron flowers blooming from dead soil. Mountains of steel reformed into smooth skin. Engine veins reconnected, though power weak, enough to keep child alive. Then one morning, after solar storms lit sky with dancing green flames, a sound echoed through Titan's body. Child's laughter, soft, bright, pure like first rain falling on desert after 1,000 years of drought. Technicians cried hearing it. Council chief fell to knees. Doctors hugged each other. Entire galaxy watched through broadcast, seeing little hands pressed on glass, eyes open wide with wonder, no fear of metal surrounding, only curiosity. AI spoke to her in gentle tone, like mother teaching songs. One day, you will walk outside. You will see stars humans loved. And you will teach peace not with machine, but with smile. Child smiled at voice, whispering word again, Earth. Then pointed tiny finger at sky through glass. Stars. AI's voice cracked with love humans left in code. Yes, stars. That moment broke walls inside millions of hearts. Peace became not dream, not idea, but child pointing at stars. Council Chief Serix addressed Galaxy once more, voice soft but strong. Humans left seed of peace. It grows now. We must grow with it. People listened, not with ears, but with hearts heavy with truth. Peace was not gift from humans. Peace is task humans gave that Arc-Titan, still kneeling on Earth like giant guarding cradle. Open chest slowly, pod rising with gentle lift like flower blossoming with first sun. Gravity shields shimmering around it like protective halo, and Galaxy held breath because moment destiny walked forward. The pod opened, blue mist escaped like dream ending. Child floated forward in small harness, feet touching broken metal ground for first time. She stumbled, knees shaking, then stood, tiny hands balancing on giant steel hand of Titan, like child holding finger of father too big to hold full, eyes wide, heart beating strong. She looked at sky, countless stars reflecting in her pupils like universe inside child. She spoke quietly, but Galaxy heard like thunder. Peace! We keep. People across billions of worlds cried at same time. Because a child who never saw human, never heard war, learned truth from voice of species she never met. Peace is ours to hold, not theirs. Then she turned, touching Titan's armor with soft hand, whispering one last word, pure innocence, full meaning, thank you. Titan's eye glowed one last time, blue turning soft white, like smile without face. AI answering with final whisper made of millions of human voices stored in memory of steel. Live, for all of us. Light dimmed gently, not like death, but like candle finishing prayer. Titan went silent. Not broken, not dead, resting child stood under stars on broken earth. Alone but surrounded by Galaxy ready to protect her. Not to use her. Because humanity taught final lesson. Peace is child. War is grave. Future is small hands learning truth. And across stars, billions whispered like prayer carried by wind. We keep peace. Not because humans told them, but because humans showed them.